There we are. Can you show me your ID? Your ID card? Thank you, Richie. Thank you, Madeline, Allison, Daira, Samantha, Maria Fernanda. Thank you very much. Irene, Augusta, Maria Gracia, Angel. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody. Okay. So, Soraya, it's the other way around. You have to turn. Yeah, that's it. Good. Thank you, Soraya. Okay. So today we have to start with a writing assignment that you will have to do for the next class. That will be next week. I still have to grade the previous writings, but I've been busy because I had another course that is finishing these days. So I have been, and they are a lot more students than you are. So I have been grading like around 30 writings and things for the other class they have at night. So I will catch up with the gradings, and you will get the grades as soon as possible in the next few weeks, in the next few days. Sorry, but we're going to start with a writing that we're going to do from the book, because it's not really in the platform, but I think it's an important thing to prepare. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my book here. Can you see it? Yes? Good. I think you can see it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. It says a covering email with your CV. What is a CV, Madeline? Do you remember?
A curriculum?
Yeah, in a CV, because in the original expression is curriculum vitae. So you're in English, you usually say CV. Do you guys know a different word to say CV in English? Maybe you have heard it.
Curriculum.
You could say curriculum vitae, yes, but what I'm looking for is the word resume, which is more American. You will see it everywhere. Resume. As you can see, this word is really not from the English language. It's borrowed from the French, but you will, if you hear American people speaking, and if you read American websites, you will see this word resume. This is how you pronounce it, though, not resume or no, resume. It's borrowed from the French language, but it's exactly the same as a CV, you know, and it's just some extra information that I think you should know. Okay, so we have something here. It says, look at the job advertisement. This word you can pronounce in different ways. You can say advertisement the way I pronounce it, which is the British word, the British way, or you can pronounce it in the American way, which is advertisement. Advertisement. Both are completely 100% correct. You can use whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to stick with the British because this is the one that I learned, and this is the one that the book uses. So, but if you prefer, you can say advertisement and it's correct, no problem. Look at the job advertisement. Which job could you apply for? So this is about you, okay? I need a person to read this part. So let me see. Who looks like he or she wants to read? Irene, you look interested. Can you read this part?
We are looking for dedicated, enthusiastic, and energetic people to work at the forthcoming Olympic Games. There are vacancies What do you say? It's a
Vacancies. Vacancies.
Vacancy in the following areas: administration, hospitality and catering,
Catering.
catering, translation and language service, and medical support.
Continue.
All applicants must be appropriately qualified and B2 level of English is essential. Send your CV and cover email in English too.
Can you read the email?
Recruitment arroba.
No, arroba in English, no. This
don't
word is
know.
pronounced recruitment. Recruitment. Okay. Como reclutamiento sería de personal. Right? Recruitment at
the Olympic Games.com.
.com. .com. En este
Dot,
caso se dice dot. Dot.
dot.
Okay. Recruitment at theolympicgames.com. Okay. So a couple of things. What is catering, Irene?
I don't know.
Servicio de comida. Okay. En Spanish, a veces se utiliza la expresión catering. For example, for a wedding or something like that. It's el servicio de comida. Okay. Administration, hospitality and catering, translation and language services, medical support. ¿Qué significa appropriately? Somebody who wants to help Irene? Who knows?
It means the right way.
Yes, exactly.
Adecuadamente.
Adecuadamente, apropiadamente, exactly, very well. All applicants must be appropriately qualified. Y la palabra que me interesa es qualified. What is qualified? Anybody knows?
That the person has the requirements or
Yes,
or
exactly. For example, if you, for example, right, you apply for medical support, well, you must be a doctor, right? That is the qualification you need because, or maybe a nurse, enfermero, enfermera. But you cannot be, for example, a musician and apply for medical support. It doesn't make any sense. You are not qualified. Understand? So qualifications basically are the studies that you have, the things that the courses that you have made or the degrees that you have that qualify you to do something. Understand? So if you want to become, for example, an architect, you have to qualify as an architect. You have to do all the studies to become an architect. That is the qualification. Okay, for example, I could apply for translation and language services, maybe, but not for medical support because I am not a doctor. I don't know anything about medicine and I don't like blood. I hate it when they take blood from my arm, you know. So it's not for me, you know. And also administration's like incredibly boring for me. So well, maybe hospitality and catering or medical support and translation and language services. So you have to choose one. No? There are vacancies. What are vacancies? It's an opening, a position. In Spanish, it will be una vacante, okay? Como un cupo to work. You understand? Do you understand what it means? Yes? Okay, good. So what do we have to do? Well, first look at the job advertisement and it says here, which job could you apply for? Okay, which job could you apply for? Think about that for a minute, okay? And now we are going to read an email. It says, Ricardo Suarez wants to apply for a job. This, a job, one of these jobs, of course, right? And he's submitting his CV. Submitting es como enviar, presentar, right? He's submitting his CV. Read the covering email to go with it and circle the best phrase in each pair. Now, look at this. It says, send your CV and a covering email in English. Send your CV and a covering email. What is a covering email? Un email de presentación. Sometimes it's a covering letter, una carta de presentación. But in English, it's very common to write a covering letter with the CV. If you send your CV, you have to write like a presentation, an introduction letter, okay, to go with it. Understand? So Ricardo Suarez, chat.com, it's of course super fake, right? And now we're going to do this exercise together. We're going to do it and read it together. You have always two options, okay? And we're going to focus on what are the differences and what is best, because we are writing a covering letter for an email. So it has to be more formal. It's for a job position. So you cannot, there are some things that you cannot do. For example, what is the difference here? So it starts, dear sir, madam. You start, normally you start this an informal, formal email with dear sir, madam, when you don't know who is going to get it. Like in Spanish, it will be a quien corresponda or something like that. Dear sir, madam is you don't know who is going to read it. Okay? So this is why you write dear sir, madam. And you say, I am writing, or I'm writing to apply for a job. Maria Fernanda, what do you think is better in this situation?
I'm writing. I am writing.
I am writing, exactly. When you write formal emails, you don't use contractions. This is only for the oral language, okay? Only to speak. When you write an email, you have to use written English, which is more formal, so you don't use contractions, okay? When you are writing, for example, a text message to your friend, that is different because it's informal. You imitate the way you speak. But in this case, you are not imitating the way you speak. You are writing a formal text. So this is why it has to be I am. I am writing. Okay, Maria Fernanda, can you read the full text? The full first paragraph?
Yes. I am writing to apply for a job with the medical support staff at the forthcoming Olympic Games.
Thank you, Maria Fernanda. Thank you. What is forthcoming?
That it's going to happen, that is like next week or
Exactly.
it's coming
Forthcoming
to
means
happen.
that very well, that it's going to happen, that it's coming in the future. Forth means like in the future in this case, right? Forthcoming. Very well, Maria Fernanda. Richie, I am going to ask you to read second paragraph.
I am a qualified physiotherapist, and I have been working at a rehabilitation center here since January 26.
Thank you. Wait a minute. A couple of things. 26 is el año 26, hace casi 2000 años. So it has to be 2006. 20, pronunciamos el segundo cero. 2006. Okay? Very well. And you chose I have been working, right?
Yes.
The same situation. If you say I've been working, this is a contraction and this is not formal. Okay? Very well. Thank you very much, Richie. Madeline, I have your video in front of me, so sorry. Next, number 3.
My English No,
You have two
it's I
options.
speak English fluently.
Sorry?
I have to choose one, right?
Yeah, you have to choose one. You have two options. My English is great, or I speak English fluently, level C1.
If I speak English fluently, level C1.
Exactly. In this case, we don't have a contraction, but we have different registers of the language. If you say my English is great, this is normal, neutral English. Okay, if you speak with your friends, if you speak with your family, it's fine, it's normal. But if you say I speak English fluently, it sounds a little better. It's a better answer for it's a better sentence for a formal email, because we want a higher register, more like a more elegant language, for example. So we choose this. Very well. C1 is very high. It's very good. It's a very high level. Okay. Now, the next one, Maria Gracia. You have two options. I enclose my CV or I attach my CV. Remember, this is an email.
I attach my CV.
Very well. I attach my CV. What is the difference between enclose and attach, Maria Gracia? What do you think?
Yes. Enclose. Enclose que es encerrar.
More or less, yes, it could mean that in some cases, but the important thing you have to remember is that you use attach for emails and you use enclose for letters, para cartas, because you enclose it inside the envelope, porque lo metes dentro del sobre. So eso es enclose.
Incluir. Incluir
Claro,
y
exactly.
attach sería adjuntar.
Exactly. Yes, that's basically the idea. Exactly. Okay. So remember, if you are writing an email, you say attach. If you are writing a letter, you say enclose. That is the difference. But this is an email, so you have to use attach. Okay. Augusta, I can only see your forehead. There you are, with the smile as usual. Very smiley as usual. Augusta, number 5. You have two options. Can you read both options, please?
Yeah. Hope to hear from you soon. I look forward to hearing from you.
So which one is better in this context?
I look forward to hearing from you.
Yes, very well. Exactly. Hope to hear from you soon is more informal because, as you can see, they say hope to hear from you soon. They don't say I hope to hear from you soon. They just they remove the I. That is a very informal thing to do. Okay? Hope to hear from you soon. Espero escuchar de ti pronto, ¿no? But I look forward to hearing from you is more or less the same thing, but sounds better. I look forward to means lo espero con ansias. Lo espero con expectativa. I look forward to. ¿Ok? No significa mirar. Ojo. Look forward es un phrasal verb. Esto ya lo deberían saber. I look forward to hearing con ing from you. Okay. And the last one, Kathy, you have two options, yours sincerely or yours faithfully.
Yours faithfully.
Yours faithfully is usually more formal, that's correct. In the previous page, you have this difference. You have this difference, okay? They tell us that if you start with dear sir, madam, you usually finish with yours faithfully. And this is more formal normally. Okay, yours faithfully is very formal. Now, if you know the person's name and you say, for example, dear Mr. Garcia, or this dear Miss Garcia, dear Mrs. Garcia, in that case, you normally write yours sincerely, which is also formal, but it's a little less formal. So this is when you know the name of the person. And since we are already here, Alison, what is the difference between Mr., Miss, and Mrs. in English?
Miss is for woman. Mr. for
So
man.
Mr. is for woman, you say?
No, Miss.
Miss is for woman. Okay.
Yes. Mr. for man.
Mr. is for man and Mrs.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Does anybody know the difference between Miss and Mrs.?
Mrs. is when she's not married, I think.
Mrs.
Como
is when,
señorita.
no, the opposite.
Okay,
Miss,
Miss is when it's not married.
yeah, Mrs. is when the woman is married. When the woman is married, you see, hasta la estructura pareciera que es como si fuera un posesivo de Mr., ¿no? Como si el varón tuviera la posesión de la mujer. Un poco anticuado, obviamente, ¿no? So, Mrs. is when she is married. Miss is when she's not married. This is traditionally. Okay? Nowadays, this is very common because normally women don't like to be referred as the woman of a man, you know, like they are more independent. So it's very common to just say Miss. But some women prefer Mrs. And you have to respect that. This is definitely for men, of course. So now you know the difference, okay? Yours faithfully when you write dear sir, madam. So in this case, when we were writing dear sir, madam, yours faithfully is the best option. And then, of course, you sign with your name. Let's go back to some of the rules. I send this, remember I sent this via WhatsApp. I don't know if you read it, but I sent it via WhatsApp. When you don't know the person's name, dear sir, madam, and yours faithfully. When you know the person's name, dear Mr., Mrs., Miss Garcia, and yours sincerely. Now, this style, you don't use contractions. Okay? You always write, I look forward to hearing from you as the final sentence. This is a formula. This is a formula that you always have to write. I look forward to hearing from you. You always write it at the end. It doesn't matter the rest of the information that you write, you finish with this. And then you write your full name under your signature. If your full name is Alison Zambrano, you write Alison Zambrano. You don't write Ali, for example. No. You write the full name and last name. Usually in English, people have only one name and one last name or surname. So, but you can also write if you want, because we're Ecuadorians and we have two names and two last names. You can write Irene, Chocabet, Yepes, the full name, you know, if you prefer, or simply Irene Yepes, which is also possible. Okay, the first name and the first surname. Okay. Now, super important, a formal email is exactly the same as a formal letter, except in the email, we don't write the address or date. Yes, because in the letter, at the beginning of the letter, remember, you have to write this, which is the date, and you also have to write the address, the person who is going to receive the letter. Okay? But in an email, you don't have to do that. You start with dear sir, madam, and you finish with your name. Okay? So this is what you have to do. You have to do something exactly like this, super short, and you have to apply for one of these four possibilities. If you want, you can apply for administration. You have to imagine you're applying for this, obviously, right? You can apply for hospitality and catering. Hospitality is hospitalidad. Maybe you work in a hotel or something like that. Catering, maybe you work in the food service. You know, maybe you bring the food or you prepare the foods. I don't know, something related to food. Translation and language services, maybe you translate or you become an interpreter, you know, to help people understand each other. Medical support, if you're a doctor or you're studying to become a doctor, something like that, you could apply for that. And the result is going to be really similar to this, but it has to be correct. Remember what we just said. Dear sir, madam finishes with yours faithfully. You don't use contractions. You write, I look forward to hearing from you as the final sentence. And you write your full name under your signature. This is an email, so you say, I attach my CV. Okay? Any questions about what you have to do? No? Okay. Where do you have to write this? Let's go to here. We are in this lesson. No, sorry, this is not the lesson. 8B. After Aquatina, after this, you have a writing. It says, write an accompanying email to send with your CV to apply for a job. Okay? This is what you have to do. Super important. Don't send the email. I'm going to change this so you don't send Word documents, PDFs. No, I want you to write in the text box. Okay. There's a text box where you can write there. And I'm going to give you chance until what day is next Tuesday? Do you know? Anybody can help me with that? Do you have a calendar?
19.
Tuesday is the
March 19th.
March 19th. Thank you. Thank you. So it will be March 19 over here. And you have the chance to send it until 23:59. Okay? Do you understand what you have to do? Yes? It's very simple. I'm going to take screen captures of what we just did and send them to the WhatsApp group so you have all the information and you have the model. Okay? This is not going to be difficult, but you have to practice. Okay? This is going to be one of the projects of the class. Okay? Like the other writings. Any questions? No questions? Perfect. Everything is crystal clear. Excellent. We're going to continue with Unit 9. And here. Okay. We're going to do this together. Okay, it says ask the questions with a partner, but I think it's easier if we do it together and then we start reading. Okay, Kathy, what would you do if somebody in the street asked you for money on your way home tonight? You have to open your microphone, Kathy. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't like to give money to the person that the homeless maybe. So, but if a person that don't have money, but if I don't know how to say, como personas que no son personas así que viven en la calle.
Okay. People on the street.
Ah,
Okay. So, no, somebody in the street. Alguien en la calle no significa que sea homeless. Ojo, ¿ah?
yeah.
Somebody in the street approaches you, se te acerca and says, "Can you please give me some money?"
If I have money, I
You would give them.
give. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. What about you, Irene? What would you do if somebody in the street asked you for money on your way home tonight?
The first question, teacher.
Yes, the first question.
I don't know. I don't take money.
You don't what?
No le daré dinero.
Sorry, I don't what? I don't understand. What?
I don't have money.
I know, but it doesn't have to be a lot of money. Like you can give them, I don't know, 50 cents or $1 if you want. If you want, of course, what would the question is hypothetical. Okay, so what would you do if somebody in the street asks you for money? You can say, I would ignore them, or you can say, I would tell them, no, I don't have money, or you could say, I will give them some money, or I don't know, or you can start a conversation with these people and to see what is the problem. I don't know. Just tell me, what would you do?
I give a money as the people need. I give a money.
If the people need the money, you would give them.
Yes.
Yes, okay, good,
Hello.
good. Yeah, remember these are the types of questions that you have in the oral exam, okay? So it's important to practice this type of questions. I just had an oral exam with a different group, and these are the types of questions that I asked, okay? So just this is why we're practicing this. Samantha, what would you do if you were driving home at night and you saw somebody who had run out of petrol? Can you turn on your microphone?
If I have a way to help pull the car, I will help it get to nearest gas station.
Okay, good, good. Yes, of course. Yeah, why not? Maria Gracia, what would you do if you were driving at home at night and you saw somebody who had run out of petrol? Question number 2.
I will have help him. I will have drag it in with my car to a gas station so he could fill up.
Okay, to go fill up the tank. Yeah, very good. Very good. Soraya, what would you do if you saw an old man being attacked in the street by a couple of teenagers? Soraya, are you paying attention? What's going on? You have problems? Okay, I can wait a minute. Everything okay, Soraya? I have a problem. Okay, well, don't worry. Fix your problem. Madeline, what would you do if you saw an old man being attacked in the street by a couple of teenagers?
Maybe I would call to the police. Yeah,
Sorry, can you repeat?
I would call to the police.
You would call the police. You don't call to, you call the police.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it would be the best thing to do, yeah, to call the police. Yeah. And what about you, Nuria? What would you do if you saw an old man being attacked in the street by a couple of teenagers?
In my case, I will help him by defending him for bad teenagers. For example, call the police because he is a person and who deserves their respect.
Of course, but would you call the police or would you intervene and say something to the teenagers?
I think call the police, but
Yes, because otherwise,
much teenagers. I am one person.
yeah, it could be dangerous, of course. What about you, Richie? What would you do in this case?
First, I took a picture of the assault as evidence and then called the police.
Very smart move. Yeah, take a picture, film a little bit, yeah, to have evidence, and then call the police. Exactly, very well. Yeah. Dana, to wake up a little bit, right? What would you do if you were in a queue at a station or airport, right? And someone asked to go in front of you because he or she was in a hurry. What would you do?
If I am not hurried, I will let him or her go ahead of me.
Yeah, if you were not in a hurry, you would let them go ahead. Yeah,
Yes.
good. Yeah, sure. Why not? What about you, Maria Fernanda? What would you do in that case? If you were in a queue at a station or airport and someone asked you to go in front of you because he or she was in a hurry.
I don't know. If I'm not in a hurry, I think I would let the person go.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Why not? Yeah. Okay.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Soraya.
Microphone will not open.
Yes, I can see you fix your microphone now. Good. You can participate in the next exercise. Okay. And this is perfect because we have to read. So, well, you can start reading. This is called the ticket inspector. The ticket inspector. It says, read the beginning of a true story by the writer Bernard Hare about something that happened to him when he was a student. Okay? Let's read it. Soraya, can you read the first paragraph?
Okay. The ticket inspector. I was living in a student flat in North London when the police knocked on my door one night.
Not.
Okay. I thought it was because I hadn't paid the rent for a few months, so I didn't open the door. But then I wondered if it was something to do with my mother, who I knew wasn't very well. Okay. There was no phone in the flat, and this was before the day of mobile phones. So I ran down to the nearest phone box and found my dad in Leeds.
In Leeds.
Leeds.
Leeds is a different city.
Okay. In the north of England.
England.
He told me that my mom was very ill in hospital and that I should go home as soon as I could.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have any questions about vocabulary here? Anybody? Nobody? No? What is the meaning of ill, Dana?
Or enfermo.
Well, yes, I was
Enfermo.
looking for an English synonym, but yes. Ill is the same as sick. Usually ill is more British. That's the only difference. Okay. Sheila, are you there?
Yes.
I cannot see you. I can only see a blurry image of something, but I don't see your face. Can you move the camera? Yeah, you didn't move it very much. Can you appear in the camera? Like I appear in the camera? Like, for example, I appear in the camera completely, but if I do this, you don't see me. Understand? Try to appear fully in the camera. That would be good. Okay, Sheila?
Yes.
Can you move the camera? Sorry? There, better. Yes, better. Okay, can you read the second paragraph, please?
Yeah. When I go to the station, I saw that is missing the left train to left.
To Leeds. I already corrected this. Leeds is the pronunciation, okay? And one thing that is important, when I got to the station, I found that I'd missed the last train. I'd. Please notice this is pronoun I plus apostrophe D. I had missed. This is past perfect. I'd missed the last train to Leeds. Okay, can you continue, Sheila?
Yeah, there was a train Peterborough
A train to Peterborough.
From where some local train went to
Leeds, la S final, por favor. Leeds.
But I would miss the connection by about 20 minutes. I decided to get the
I decided to get
Peterborough train. I was so
desperate
to get home that I thought maybe I could
hitchhike.
shy from Peterborough.
Okay. Thank you, Sheila. Let me see who can continue reading. Augusta. Tickets.
Tickets, please. I looked up and saw the ticket inspector. He could see from my eyes that I forgot how I pronounce that. I'd be crying.
I'd
been crying. Are you okay? He asked. Of course I'm okay, I say. You look awful, he continued. Is there anything I can do? You could go away, I said rudely.
Rudely. Rudely. What is rudely, Augusta?
In Spanish or in
Try to explain in English. But
okay, in English, like someone that it's a little disrespectful in a kind of way, like
yes,
like
disrespectfully. That is rudely. Very well explained. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Ángel, continue reading the next paragraph, please.
but he didn't. He sat down and said, I will there. If there is a problem, I'm here to help. The only thing I could think of was to tell him my story. When I
Story.
finish,
My story.
When I finish it, I say, so now you know. I'm a bit upset and I don't feel like talking anymore. Okay? Okay. He said, finally getting up. I'm sorry to hear that, son. I hope you make it home.
Thank you. Nuria, can you finish?
I continued to look out of the windows at the dark countryside. 10 minutes later, the ticket inspector come back.
Came back. Came back. Okay, good. So we're going to guess now. What do you think happened next? Madeline, do you have any ideas?
No.
Use your imagination. What do you think happened next? Did he get home? Maybe he didn't get home? I don't know, somebody helped him? What happened? It says the ticket inspector came back. What do you think happens?
I couldn't like hear all the history book, so I don't know.
Sorry?
I couldn't like hear all the history that I had a problem. And
You couldn't hear all the story because you were busy.
sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, try to catch up, okay? Kathy, what do you think comes next? What happens after this? Kathy?
Yeah. I don't know.
No, of course we don't know, but we can imagine, right? Use your imagination. Can you turn on your microphone?
Yeah.
We are guessing. We are guessing. Kathy?
Yeah, Mr. But I'm so confused. So I don't know.
Why are you confused? What happened? Did you understand the story?
No, completely. So
Okay.
because it's so confused to me
Okay, let's go step by
say
step.
something.
If you don't understand something in the story, it's super important you ask me. Okay, because if you don't have questions, I assume that you know. Okay, so if you don't know, for example, what happens here or what happens here, please tell me, hey, mister, I don't understand this part. Can you explain it to me? Okay, so this is the way we work. Okay, so let's see what happened. So this person, Bernard Hare, he was living in London and he found out that his mom was very ill and he had to go to Leeds as soon as possible. So he went to the station to get a train to go to Leeds. But the train that went to Leeds, he couldn't take because he says, I found out that I missed the last train to Leeds. There were no more trains to Leeds. Okay? Then there was another train to Peterborough, which is a different place, from where some local trains went to Leeds. Okay? So he went to a different city to take a train to Leeds, but he would miss the connection by 20 minutes. So he thought, I decided to get to Peterborough's train, to get the Peterborough train because I was so desperate to get home, but I thought maybe I could hitchhike to Peterborough. What is hitchhike, Gatti? Or anybody? Who knows what is to hitchhike?
como hacer paradas.
Yes, exactly. Hacer dedo en la ruta para que alguien lo lleve. Okay, that is to hitchhike. He said, okay, maybe I can go to Petersboro and maybe somebody will take me. I hitchhike on the road and somebody will take me to Leeds. And he was very, very sad because he said, oh, maybe I won't see my mother before she dies. Okay, because the mother was very ill. So this is when he meets the ticket inspector. The ticket inspector appeared and says, tickets, please. You say, and he had been crying, so the ticket inspector asks Bernard, "Are you okay?" And he says, "Of course I'm okay. You look awful. You look terrible. You look terrible. You look really bad. Awful is really bad." Okay, and he was not polite. He said, "You could go away." Puedes irte de aquí. No, no me molestes. Something like that, right? As I said rudely, impolitely. Okay. But he didn't go away and he insisted that he wanted to help. So Bernard told him all the story. Bernard told him all the story. The only thing I could think of was to tell him my story. So he told him all the story. And when he finished, he says, now you know I'm a bit upset. Estoy de mal humor, you know, and I don't feel like talking anymore. No tengo ganas de hablar más, right? I don't feel like, no tener ganas. Okay, okay. And the ticket inspector said, I'm sorry to hear that, son. I hope you make it home. Okay, that's all he said, and he left. Then after a minute, after 10 minutes later, the ticket inspector came back. Ticket inspector returned. Now you understand the story, Kathy?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what do you think can happen now?
Sorry. He go home. Oh, I don't know.
How? How does he get home?
Sorry. Estoy como enredada, lo siento.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Okay.
So there are different options, of course. Maybe he arrives to Peterborough and he hitchhikes home. He hitchhikes home. Or maybe he doesn't get home and he is in Peterborough and he has to wait until the next day. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen?
He come home, then
Yeah, he comes home, but how does he arrive home? How does he get to Leeds? This is the problem, right? Because when he arrives at Peterborough, which is where he's going, he would miss the connection by about 20 minutes. O sea, el tren que iba a Leeds ya habría salido 20 minutos antes. Lo iba a perder igual ese tren. Entonces, no tiene cómo llegar a Leeds desde el tren en el que está. Understand?
yeah, but he go to ask for help to any person that he can see. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he can
But
offer help to some people, maybe
yeah.
to take him to Leeds by car. I don't know. Yeah. Madeline, what do you think? What do you think will be the next part of the story?
The last part says that 10 minutes later the ticket inspector came back, so I think that he felt like a solution.
Yeah, maybe, exactly. This is interesting
Yeah.
because we don't know what's going to happen now. And maybe the ticket inspector wants to help him somehow, some way. We don't know how, of course. Okay, we're going to listen and answer the questions now. Okay? We're going to go here. We're going to go here. Okay. Now, we're going to listen and answer the questions orally. You don't have access to this. And the idea is that you don't have access to this. Don't worry about it. Because these questions are going to be answered only orally. We're going to do this together. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen the next part. Okay. And then we have these 3 questions that we are going to answer together orally. Okay. Please try to pay attention. Okay, I see some people on the phone. No, try to pay attention to the platform, okay? Let's go.
5.2. The ticket inspector touched my arm. Listen, he said, when we get to Peterborough Station, run as fast as you can to platform 1. The Leeds train will be there. I looked at him without really understanding what he had said. What do you mean? I said. Is the train late or something? No, it's not late, the ticket inspector said. I've just radioed Peterborough Station. The train is going to wait for you. As soon as you get on, it'll leave. The passengers will complain, but let's not worry about that. You'll get home, and that's the main thing. And he walked away. I suddenly realized what an amazing thing he had done. I got up and went after him. I wanted to give him everything I had, all the money in my wallet, but I knew he would be offended. I grabbed his arm. I just wanted to, but I couldn't continue. It's okay, he said, no problem. I wish I had a way to thank you, I said. I really appreciate what you've done. No problem, he said again. Listen, if you want to thank me, the next time you see someone in trouble, help them. That will pay me back. And tell them to do the same to someone else. It'll make the world a better place. When the train stopped, I rushed to platform 1, and sure enough, the Leeds train was there waiting. And a few hours later, I was with my mum in hospital. Even now, years later, whenever I think of her, I remember the good ticket inspector on that late-night train to Peterborough. It changed me from a young man who was nearly a criminal into a decent human being. I've been trying to pay him back ever since then.
Okay. Do you want to listen again, or are you ready to answer the questions?
Listen again.
Okay, yes, we're going to listen again. Don't worry. Okay. Pay attention to what the questions are. It says, what did Bernard have to do as soon as he got off the train? And how did Bernard react to what the ticket inspector said? And finally, what did the ticket inspector then ask him to do in the future? Okay? Let's listen.
5.2. The ticket inspector touched my arm. Listen, he said, when we get to Peterborough Station, run as fast as you can to platform 1. The Leeds train will be there. I looked at him without really understanding what he had said. What do you mean? I said. Is the train late or something? No, it's not late, the ticket inspector said. I've just radioed Peterborough Station. The train is going to wait for you. As soon as you get on, it'll leave. The passengers will complain, but let's not worry about that. You'll get home, and that's the main thing. And he walked away. I suddenly realized what an amazing thing he had done. I got up and went after him. I wanted to give him everything I had, all the money in my wallet, but I knew he would be offended. I grabbed his arm. I just wanted to, but I couldn't continue. It's okay, he said, no problem. I wish I had a way to thank you, I said. I really appreciate what you've done. No problem, he said again. Listen, if you want to thank me, the next time you see someone in trouble, help them. That will pay me back. And tell them to do the same to someone else. It'll make the world a better place. When the train stopped, I rushed to platform 1, and sure enough, the Leeds train was there waiting. And a few hours later, I was with my mum in hospital. Even now, years later, whenever I think of her, I remember the good ticket inspector on that late-night train to Peterborough. It changed me from a young man who was nearly a criminal into a decent human being. I've been trying to pay him back ever since then.
Okay. So let's try to answer these questions, okay? So Alejandra, what did Bernard have to do as soon as he got off the train?
He had to run to platform 1.
That's correct. He had to run as fast as he could to platform 1 because the train was waiting for him. Very well. Maria Fernanda Luque, how did Bernard react?
He was very, I don't know how to say. He was like very happy, I think, and he didn't know how to thank the ticket inspector.
Exactly. He
So,
didn't know how to thank him. Yeah. Yes. And he asked him, how can I thank you? Right? Very well. Maria Gracia, what did the ticket inspector then ask him to do?
Yes, he asked Bernard to help the next person he sees who is in a trouble.
Exactly. If you see, you tell him, if you see someone in trouble, help in
Yes.
trouble.
And the hand to tell them to do the someone else.
Exactly. To do that to someone else. Very well. That's it. Super simple. Okay. Super simple. Very well. Okay. Excellent. We're going to focus on this one now. It's called The Students and the Angel. Okay. We're going to read a little bit more. First one is called The Students. Richie, can you read The Students?
All right, the students. I was living in South Korea at the time, teaching English. I had to leave the country and return again because of problems with my visa. So I booked a ferry to Fukuoka in Japan. I intended to change some Korean money into Japanese yen when I got there. But when I arrived, I discovered it was a holiday in Japan and all of the banks were closed. I didn't have a credit card, so I walked from the ferry terminal towards the town, wondering what I was going to do without any Japanese money. I was feeling lonely and depressed when suddenly I heard a young couple speaking French. I asked I asked them if they spoke any English, and they told me in good English that they were Belgian students. When I explained my problem, they immediately offered to take me around the city and look for somewhere where I could change money. They paid for my bus ticket and they took me to several places, and in the end we found a hotel where I was able to change my cash. They then invited me to join them and their friends for the evening. I had a fantastic night and have never forgotten how they changed all their plans just to help a stranger. Karina.
Very well. Thank you very much, Richie. So this is another story of somebody helping other people, right? Do you have any questions about vocabulary? No? Okay, good. Remember, I asked these questions and then if you have questions, you have to tell me. Otherwise, I cannot know. Okay?
I understood everything.
Thank you. I was like speaking in general, you know, like because some people then tell me no, but I don't understand. Well, this is the moment when you have to ask. Okay. Okay. Maria Fernanda Luque, can you read the angel?
Yes, the angel. It was a cold Sunday evening in Manchester. I was a university student, and my girlfriend and I had been invited to dinner with our tutor at his house, 30 kilometers away. We decided to go on my motorbike, but we hadn't realized how cold it was. So we hadn't dressed properly, and after 10 minutes on the bike, we were absolutely freezing. When we were about halfway there, the bike started to make a funny noise and then stopped. We had run out of petrol. We stood at the side of the road, shivering with cold and not sure what to do. Suddenly, a passing car stopped. The driver got out, opened the boot of his car, and took out a can of petrol. He walked up to my bike, opened the petrol tank, and poured the petrol in. He then closed the tank and got back to his car without saying a single word and drove away. We couldn't believe our luck. We sometimes wonder if the man who rescued us was an angel. Andy.
Okay, very good. Do you know what is petrol, Maria Fernanda?
Gasoline.
Exactly. It's the same thing, but British people call it petrol. That's the only difference. What is suddenly?
Out of nowhere.
Yes, exactly. Very well. And what is this word pour? Pour the petrol in.
Is when you put a liquid into another
Yeah, recipient.
place. Recipient.
Yeah, exactly. For example, you can pour water into a glass to drink, right? Thank you very much. Do you have any questions about vocabulary? Anybody? No? Nobody? Okay. Excellent. You don't have any questions. Okay. I'm going to ask a little bit about these stories. Okay. Alejandra, about the students. Where it happened? Where did it happen?
Where in Japan?
It happened in Japan. And what was the problem?
He
She.
didn't. She.
Karina. She.
He doesn't have. Yes. He have the.
She didn't have the Japanese yen. Exactly. Very well. What did the strangers do to help her?
And they paid to the bus.
They paid for the
The
bus.
bus ticket.
Yeah, what else?
And they look to the place and they found a hotel.
Exactly. Until they found a hotel where they
change
could exchange the money. Very well. Very well. Thank you very much. Alison, let's talk about the angel. Where did it happen?
Manchester.
Manchester, very well. What was the problem?
Manchester. The motorbike of petrol.
The motorbike was out of petrol. Very well. What did the stranger do to help them?
The stranger go hurt by opening the petrol tank and pouring the petrol in.
And pour the petrol in so they could have more petrol. Exactly. Very well. Thank you very much, Alison. Okay. So what we're going to do now is the third conditional. But before that, we're going to try to understand these sentences. Okay, this is a new topic. It's third conditional. It says, if the inspector hadn't stopped the train, he would have missed his connection. And the second one says, the inspector stopped the train, so he didn't miss the connection. Which one describes what really happened, and which one describes how the situation might have been different? Augusto, before you fall asleep.
The really happened was true. Describe the situation that might be, I think, one. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, this is unreal. This is not real. This is what would have happened, but it didn't happen. What really happened was number 2. Okay, very good. So this is a third conditional. Number 1 is a third conditional. This is about something that didn't happen in the past, and we are imagining what might have been different in the past. What might have been different in the past. Okay, so now I'm going to explain third conditional, and we're going to do a few exercises about it. Okay. If I'd known about the meeting, remember, I'd means I had. It could also mean I would. So you have to be careful. You know, the contraction of both had and would is I'd. But I will tell you a trick so you are not confused about it. It says, if I'd known about the meeting, I would have gone. So you have two elements, two very important elements for the third conditional. On the if part of the sentence, you have past perfect. If I'd known. Okay, you use if plus past perfect. And in the other part of the sentence, in the would clause, you have would have plus a past participle. Would have plus a past participle. Okay? So you have these two elements. If I'd known about the meeting, I would have gone. Let's continue reading. If James hadn't gone on that training course, this is a negative example, he wouldn't have met his wife. This is, of course, unreal because this is something that didn't happen in the past. He went on a training course and he met his wife, but if he hadn't gone, he wouldn't have met his wife. Okay? Next example, you wouldn't have lost your job if you hadn't been late every day. This is the example that we have here. The guy was late every day, so this is why he lost his job. Look at the boss looking at him like in a very mean way. He says, you wouldn't have lost your job if you hadn't been late every day. Yeah. And you can also use it as a question, of course. Would you have gone to the party if you'd known Lisa was there? This is, of course, hypothetical, imaginary, but always about a different past, something that never happened in the past. Okay? So let's read the points that we have here. It says, we normally use the third conditional sentences to talk about how things could have been different in the past. That is, for hypothetical imaginary situations. Hypothetical imaginary situations, but the difference between second conditional and third conditional is that second conditional is for hypothetical imaginary situations in the present or future, and third conditional is for hypothetical and imaginary situations in the past. It's a completely different thing. Okay? Compare. Yesterday, I got up late and missed my train. This is the real situation. Now, I imagine a different thing. If I hadn't got up late yesterday, I wouldn't have missed my train. Si no me hubiera despertado tarde, hubiera llegado a alcanzar el tren. Okay, it's a hypothetical and imaginary situation because it didn't happen. And it is third conditional because it didn't happen in the past. Okay? Now, to make a third conditional, and this point is super important, we use if plus past perfect And would have, always would have, plus a past participle. Simple as that. If plus past perfect, would have plus past participle. Now, the contraction of both had and would is apostrophe D. But remember, after would, you also always have the word have. So it's difficult to confuse. After if, you always have a past participle because it's past perfect. After if, in this case, I'd, like this, I'd known. This is obviously a past perfect because you have had known. But I could say, I'd have gone. I'd have gone. In this case, you have the word have here. So this has to be would. Okay? Now, we can use might or could instead of would to make the result less certain. This is another possibility typical of conditionals that you can replace will or would have with might, could, etc. So you can say, if she studied harder, she might have passed the exam. It's not the same if you say, if she studied harder, she would have passed the exam because you are certain. You think she would have passed. But if you say she might have passed, you're not very certain. It's a little bit less certain. Okay, it's just a possibility. Okay, do you have any questions about third conditional? This is the moment, guys. Please ask me all the questions that you have.
Can I ask you something? You know,
Sure.
in the last sentence that I can read now, oh, yeah. You say that if she studied harder, she might have passed the exam. And
Yeah.
if I use may, she may have passed the exam. In what
100%
context can
the
I use
same.
may?
100% the same. This exactly, may or might are the same. She may have passed the exam is also the same. Remember when we saw models of deduction, might and may are the same. Normally, they are normally the same. Okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. Do you have any more questions, people? No more questions? Okay, well, if you don't have any more questions, we're going to start working. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this exercise. Remember, we are here, third conditional. We go above, not below, because everybody makes the same mistake. No, we go above. Vamos a hacer el anterior. El que dice match the sentence halves from the story. Okay? This is the one we're going to do. Configuration. Just one attempt. You don't need more. And time, let's say 7 minutes. Okay, you ready? Let's go. We go in and we do this together, but you also do it with me. Okay, so in the first part, it says match the sentence half.
Teacher, sorry, but it doesn't open for me.
Yes, because I didn't do some, I don't know. I made a mistake. I forgot to do this. Now it opens for everybody. Very sorry about that. We're going to do this together, okay? It's only 3 points. We're going to do this together. It says match the sentence halves from the story. So the first one says, if the inspector hadn't stopped the train to Leeds, you have 3 options. She would have been alone without any money. They could have had to walk for miles in the cold. He could have missed his connection. What do you think is the correct one, Richie?
Which one?
Number 1, if the inspector hadn't stopped the train to Leeds.
C.
Letter C, can you read it?
He would have missed his connection.
He would have missed his connection. Alejandra, can you do number 2?
If the couple hadn't helped Karina, she would have been alone without any money.
She would have been alone without any money. Very well. Allison, if the man in the car, can you read number 3?
They will have to walk for miles in the cold. Letter B.
Letter B. You see, super easy. Okay, the idea is to connect things that are, of course, connected by meaning, but you also have to understand that we are working with the third conditional. Hadn't stopped, hadn't helped, hadn't stopped. This is past perfect. And in this case, you always have would have plus a past participle. Would have been, would have had, would have missed. Okay, this is the second part of the third conditional, always. Okay, very good. We continue, and now we're going to do another exercise, but a little more difficult, obviously, and you're going to do this alone. Okay. The first one, it says match the phrase. Grammar Bank 1, match the phrases. I'm going to open this. And now you can enter. You have phrases on the left, phrases on the right, and you have to match them with the letters over here next to the numbers. Okay? Any questions? No? You have 10 minutes to do this. I know you can do it faster than that. While you do this, I'm going to write your presence or absence in the list. Let's go. Okay, we're going to check. Okay. Augusta, number 1.
I. Yes, I.
Can you read everything, please?
Okay. Number 1. Billy, no, if I could driving any faster, if I could have got a speeding fine.
Letter I could have got a speeding fine. Yeah, if I'd driven any faster. Remember the pronunciation is driven. It's a little weird because you say drive, drove, and you expect driven, but no, it's driven, okay? Richie, number 2.
Number 2. John might have got the job if he had been on time for his interview.
Very well. If he'd been on time. If he'd been on time. Letter F, right? Alejandra.
Number 3, she would have hurt herself badly. Letter H. If she'd fallen down the stairs.
Excited. What is hurt, Alejandra? What is the meaning of hurt?
Lastimarse.
Very well. Thank you very much. Alison, number 4.
If Gary hadn't gone to the party, letter F, if he'd been on time for, oh no, sorry. Letter E, she will have met her new boyfriend.
She wouldn't have. You wouldn't have met her new boyfriend. Okay, letter E. Well. Maria Fernanda, number 5.
Number 5. What would you have studied if you'd gone to university? A.
Okay, very good. Irene, number 6.
How would you have got to the airport? Letter E. If the train had been on a strike.
Letter J. Letter
J.
J. If the trains had been on strike, yes. Remember the pronunciation is not airport, it's airport.
Airport.
Airport, yes, very well. Samantha, number 7.
Okay. If you wore a warmer coat, a letter B, you will not have been so cool.
Cold.
Oh,
Okay, if you'd worn a warmer coat, no coat, coat, you wouldn't have been so cold. You wouldn't have, remember. Okay, very well. Angel, number 8.
Your parents will have enjoyed the trip. Letter G, if they had come with us.
Excellent, if they had come with us. Thank you very much, Angel. Soraya, number 9.
Would you have told me? Letter C. If I asked you.
Very well. This is a question. Would you have helped me if I'd asked you? Exactly. Very well, guys. This is not an easy topic, but with some practice, we can make it work. Okay? We're going to continue practicing this. A little more of exercises. And we have the second one. It says complete the third conditional sentences with the correct form of the verbs. Okay? Let me check and show you. You have a few verbs, a few sentences, and you have the verbs here. For example, not take is the negative, obviously. Not win is the negative. You have to see if it's hadn't won or would have won. Wouldn't have won. I don't know. It has to be a negative. Okay. Look, it says, if Tom hadn't gone to university, he wouldn't have met Sarah. Not go, not meet. You see, hadn't, wouldn't. Okay, guys? This is an important exercise. It's 20 points. Okay, so I will give you a little more time for this. I think 15 is probably a lot. I will give you 12. Okay. Let's go. You can start now. You can do this exercise. If you have any questions, remember, you can ask me. Let's go. Okay, we're going to check this exercise. Okay. What's going on, Samantha? Are you nervous? What happened? You already finished. What's the problem? Okay, let's check. Sheila, number 1.
Yeah, if you have taken to the airport, I would
If
have.
you,
Yeah, if you have met,
if you hadn't,
if you have met my flight,
no wait, we are in number 1, Sheila, we are in number 1. If you hadn't, and the verb is take.
yeah, me to the airport,
Wait,
I
wait. What is the verb?
am.
If you hadn't
taken.
taken in the past participle. If you hadn't taken me to the airport, I
Would have
would,
met
would have missed.
my
Hay
flight.
que pronunciar todo completo, ¿no? Comerse palabras no nos va a servir. Would have missed. I would have missed my flight. Okay? Alejandra, number 2.
We wouldn't have won the match if the referee hadn't given you penalty.
Oh, we wouldn't have won the match if the referee hadn't given us a penalty. Acá hay un error, debería estar separado esto, ¿no? Very well. María Gracia, number 3.
Yes, you would have enjoyed the weekend if you had come with us.
With us.
Yes.
Again, you would
have enjoyed
the weekend if you
had come.
If you had come with us. Very well. Number 4, Richie.
All right, number 4. A moment. If I hadn't bought the theater tickets online, they would have been more expensive.
If I hadn't bought the theater tickets online, they would have been
more expensive.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Richie. Dana. Dana, I cannot see your face. Can you show your face? Better. Thank you.
Okay. Mike would have forgotten his wife's birthday if she hadn't reminded him.
His wife's birthday if she hadn't reminded him. Very well. Who wants to continue? Angel. If the police
had arrived 5 minutes later, they would haven't have called the thief.
The police had arrived 5 minutes later, they wouldn't have caught the thief. Madeline, number 7.
If you hadn't lent me the money, I wouldn't have been able to go away for the weekend.
If you hadn't lent me the money, I wouldn't have been able I wouldn't have been able to go away for the weekend. Very well. Soraya. You.
8. Okay. You would have hurt yourself if you had fallen off the horse.
Fallen. If you had fallen off the horse. Kathy. Number 9.
We wouldn't have found the hotel if we hadn't seen the signs post.
We wouldn't have found the hotel if we
Hadn't seen.
the signpost. Very well. And finally, Maria Fernanda.
If I had known about the job, I would have applied for it.
I would have applied for it. Okay. Remember that after would have, you always have to use present, a past participle. I saw this mistake in some people. Okay. It's important to use, hurt is the past participle of hurt. So caught, the past participle of catch. Okay, important. Missed is the past participle of miss. Okay, well, let's check. For the people who didn't do this very well, I gave you another attempt so you can fix it. There's a mistake here. Oh no, I made a mistake. I wrote hadn't lent and it's hadn't lent. It's correct. You know, I made a mistake. I forgot it's with a T. Okay. Okay. Good. We have to make a stop. We have to take the break. In Guayaquil, it's 11:05. We see you at 11:20. It's okay? Okay. See you in a few minutes. Bye-bye. Okay. Come on, guys. Continue. Soraya, Samantha, Augusta, Fernanda, Nuria, Ángel. You guys ready? Okay, we're going to continue. First thing we're going to do is a little bit of pronunciation, you know. It's called sentence stress because this is sometimes a tricky thing. And when you read, you don't want to read like a robot. For example, like if I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you. No, you don't want to read like that. There are some words that are more important than others. Okay. So you say something like, if I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you. You see? Let's listen to this.
5.4. 1. If I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you.
You see, if I've known you were ill, I would have come to see you. You see, there are some special words that must be emphasized a little bit. Okay? You have to try to repeat in silence. Well, not in silence, with the microphone off. Try to repeat this so you copy the rhythm. You copy the rhythm. If I have known you were ill, I would have come to see you. Okay? Let's do.
2.
If the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer.
You see, if the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer. You see, for example, would have, no emphasis. Stayed longer, emphasis. Okay? If the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer.
3. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late. Now, would have doesn't have any emphasis, but wouldn't, because it's a negative, it has an emphasis. Okay? So you say, I wouldn't have been late. You usually emphasize negatives. Let's do number 4.
4.
We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed.
We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed. If it hadn't been delayed. Okay? So as you can see, negatives have a little bit of an emphasis when we speak. Okay? Good. Are you very tired, Augusta? Everything okay?
Yeah, I have a little headache.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we're going to read some quotes about luck and answer a couple of questions. Okay, so Nuria, can you read this quote over here?
The more is the more, right?
Yes.
Okay. The more I practice it, luckier I get.
Yeah.
Gary player, golf, golf player.
Yes, the more I practice, the luckier I get. Do you understand the quote, Nuria?
What word?
If you understand the quote, if you understand the sentence.
I see you in Spanish.
No, I am asking you if you understand it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, do you agree with this? What do you think? Do you like it? Do you don't like it? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I like it, but it's the really in the life, isn't it?
Can you speak up? No se te escucha. Can you speak up a little bit?
I like it, these phrases.
With quote. You like it. Why do you like it?
Or it's the really, for the more I practices, the luckier I get. For example, where I more practices the activity, more expert in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. Could be. Sure. Yeah. What do you think, Augusta? The more I practice, the luckier I get. This is a golf player.
I think the phrase it suggests that there is like a connection, when you practice more, you can increase the possibilities for to get something. And then it's like, I think it's kind of the relationship, like it's not about, the lucky person. It's not about luck, it's about that how you put effort in something.
Sure, yeah, I agree. Yeah. What do you think, Kathy? The more I practice, the luckier I get. Kathy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. I think if you more practice, you don't no te va a ir bien to lucky, just if you practice, you probably you have good results, but I don't know, it's too lucky. I think that is to constancia, maybe.
Because, okay, constancy, okay.
Yeah.
Consistency, okay. So the more I practice, the luckier I get. You don't think it's about being lucky. I think the golf player is trying to be a little provocative, of course, because luck is something that is difficult to measure, right? He's basically saying there is, like Augusta said, there is a consistency between practice and luck, Let's go to the next one. Maria Fernanda Luca, can you read the next one?
Yes, you've got to think lucky. If you fall into a lake, check your back pocket. You might have caught a fish.
Okay. What do you think? Maria Fernanda?
I don't know. I don't
Do you understand it?
know.
So if it says you've got to think lucky, it means that you have to have like a lucky mindset, like a lucky mentality. Okay. And then it says, if you fall into a lake, which is something that most people would consider bad luck, check your back pocket because you might have caught a fish. So you might have a fish in your pocket, which some people would consider is good luck. So what it's basically saying is that even in a bad situation, like falling into a lake, you can have something good. You can get something good as a result from that. Okay? Do you understand? I cannot see your face, my friend. I don't know if you follow or not. Did you understand? Yeah? A little better? Maria Fernanda? Are you there?
Yes, I have a construction al lado, so I can hear clearly sometimes.
Okay. But I was asking if you understand better now. Okay, good. Soraya, what do you think about this? If you've got to think lucky, if you fall into a lake, check your back pocket, you might have caught fish. Do you agree or not?
I don't understand the sentence.
Well, I just explained it. Like if you got to think lucky means that you've got to think positively, like you have luck. Understand? Like you are a lucky person. You have to think that you are a lucky person. Because if you fall into a lake, for example, which a lot of people would consider something that is bad luck, check your back pocket, you might have caught a fish, means that even in a bad situation, there might be something good for you. Do you understand now,
It's
Soraya?
positive.
Yeah, so think like there is a positive thing in all things. Like even if there is a situation where you think it's a bad situation, you have to try to see the positive in that. The positive thing in that. Do you understand? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree with this or not?
Yes, I agree.
Why?
Um, Ay, no sé cómo explicarlo.
Try to use simple words. Why do you think you agree with this?
I think it's good to look on the bright side.
Yeah, very well. Exactly. It's good to look on the bright side of things. This is basically what this is saying. It's good to look on the bright side of things. Very, very well, Soraya. We're going to continue with the next quote. Richie, can you read it?
Remember that sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. The 40th Dalai Lama religious leader.
Okay. What do you think, Richie? Do you agree with this or not?
Yeah, I suppose it relates to the previous quote. It's kind of you didn't get something good, maybe something good will happen in the future. I don't exactly agree. I think it's very subjective, but I don't know.
Yes, it is, of course, very subjective. But what he's saying is like a little bit like that, like the previous one. You have to see the bright side of things. And maybe not getting what you want is very lucky. Because in the end, you can consider it lucky. At the moment, you don't like it, but later on, you would like it. That's what it says. Okay. Madeline, can you read the next one?
If you have two friends in your lifetime, you are lucky. If you have one good friend, you are more than lucky. Susan Winton Walter.
What do you think about this one?
Maybe says that it's more important to have one good friend than many friends that are not like real with you.
Do you agree with this? What do you think about this quote?
Yes, I agree. Yes.
I agree, yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea to have good friends. But even if you have one good friend, that is better than having many friends that are not so good. It could be interesting to think like that, definitely. Okay. You have 3 questions here. And I'm going to create groups so you can discuss these questions, but please speak in English and discuss these questions, okay? The first one says, do you consider yourself in general to be a lucky person? Why and why not? Okay. Can you remember a time when you were either very lucky or very unlucky? And what happened? You have to tell the story. Okay. At number 4, it says, do you know anyone who you think is particularly lucky or unlucky? And why? Okay. We're going to create rooms so you can discuss. Okay. Let's go. You ready? Let's go.
You do you consider yourself in general to be a lucky person? Why or why not?
Mm, to, to you, yes, I am lucky because my family is healthy. So am I.
Um,
Don't remember what specifically, but I think that I have been very lucky all the way of my life. Um,
And do you know anyone who you think is particularly lucky or unlucky? And
yeah, I can think about many people who is so unlucky, and
As a rate unlucky because before going on stage, she suggested no, suggested see a foot injury, so she could not dance.
That's correct. For me, yes. Um, I know friends who have a good luck in everything. For example,
I have always had good luck because I always think about things before doing them.
Okay.
Okay, do you remember a time when you were very lucky or very unlucky?
I remember when the third semester thesis science.
Do you consider do you consider yourself in general to be a lucky person?
Yes, I consider lucky
Why?
person. Because
Okay. Now you ask me.
Do you consider yourself in general to be a lucky person?
But that was the last question that we were going to.
Okay. Do you know anyone who you think is particularly lucky or unlucky?
Yes, I think a friend, her name is Nuria. He's in the same course. She's in the same course. Because she always, sometimes she lost connective in some class or stuff like that, but she always can do the things on time or she can solve everything. So I'm just saying that she's pretty lucky for me. What about you? Do you know anyone who you think is particularly lucky or unlucky, and why?
I have one of my friends, his name is Fernando, and always when he say that his favorite team, like Real Madrid, is going to win, always happen. She won a lot of money. How do you say apostar?
Bets.
Invest.
Betting.
Invest in that app like OneSbet or so he had a lot of luck.
Okay.
Okay, you finish? Good. Let's see. Okay, there's a couple of people who are still working. Let's give them a minute. Okay. Are we all here? Yes, we're all here. Let's continue. We're going to focus on the next part of the lesson. It's called reading and listening. It says, read the article, A Question of Luck, about a book by Malcolm Gladwell, and answer the questions. We're going to read it, but we're going to answer the questions orally. Okay, just like before. Okay. It's called A Question of Luck, and we have the questions here. It's just about answering the questions orally. You don't have to do this. Don't worry, we will do it together. Okay? It's called A Question of Luck. Nuria, can you start reading the first paragraph, please?
The activity is not active. It's active.
Yeah, I know. You have to read on my computer.
What is the question we always ask about successful people? We want to know what they're like, what kind of personality they have, or how intelligent they are, or what kind of lifestyles we have, or what special talents they might have been born with. And we assume that is those personal qualities that explain how that individual gets to the top of his or her profession.
Thank you very much. Soraya, can you continue?
The second,
Sure.
but according to Malcolm Gladwell in his book Outliers, we are asking the wrong question. He thinks that while talent is obviously a factor, there are two other more important ones that make a person successful. The first of these factors is luck.
You don't say look, remember. We have pronounced the word many times. Luck.
Sorry, luck.
Don't worry. Paragraph number 3. Madeline. It's a long paragraph, I know, but you can read it.
He begins with the example of sports players. In recent research done on various groups of elite ice hockey players from Canada and the Quebec.
Okay, elite ice hockey players from Canada and the Czech Republic.
One fascinating fact came to light. In both countries, it was discovered that 40% of the players in the top teams were born between January and March, 30% between April and June, and 20% between July and September, and only 10% between October and December. The explanation was simple. The school year in these countries runs from January to December. A boy who is 10 on January
January
2nd will be in the same class as one whose
10th birthday
Stan's birthday is on December
The
3rd.
30th. The 30th.
30th.
Okay, thank you, Madeline. Thank you. Somebody else is going to read the rest of the paragraph. Irene, can you continue and finish the paragraph?
My internet is slowly. What paragraph? The change or the extra practice?
The chances are
The first boy will be bigger, stronger, and more coordinated. He is much more
sorry, stronger, not stronger, stronger.
stronger. Okay. He is much more likely than the other boy to be chosen to play in junior teams. He will then get better coaching than the others and we play many more games. So we'll also get more practice. In the beginning, his advantage isn't so much that he is more talented, simply that he is older. He has looked enough to be bored in the first months for the year, but by the age of 13 or 14, with the extra question and practice, he really will be better than the others and far more likely to be successful.
Very well. Thank you very much. Angel, can you read the last paragraph?
The extra practice is vital because the second factor is vital. Because the second factor that Gladwell believes is of great importance in determining whether somebody is going to be successful or not is what he calls the 10,000 hours theory. This theory, based on studying many different fields, says that in order to get to the very top, you need to put in 10,000 hours of practice, whether it is playing an instrument or a sport or programming a computer.
Exactly. Very well, very well. Do you have any questions, guys, about vocabulary here? I know you will say you don't have questions, but you will. Okay. So for example, Maria Gracia, what is assume?
Yes. Assume, asumir.
Very well. Excellent. And what is to get to the top, Maria Gracia?
So, arriba.
Yeah, but the expression get to the top. To get to the top. What is that? To get to the top of his
Llegar a la cima.
Yes, exactly. To get to the top of the profession, to be one of the best in your profession. That is what it means. Okay. Okay. Over here, there are a few things. Well, they discover, of course, that it's important that they are born at the beginning of the year, so they are bigger, they are stronger, they are more coordinated. They are more coordinated. And then it says, he's much more likely than the other boy to be chosen to play in junior teams. Maria Fernanda Luque, what is likely?
Likely is que no sé cómo decir, likely, que puede pasar, que hay mayor probabilidad.
Very well, exactly. It's more probable. That is what it means. Likely is probable. Very well, very well. He's much more likely than the other boy to be chosen. What is the other boy? The boy that is younger, that is not so big, not so strong. That is what they are comparing two things. Okay, they get better coaching. This is an advantage. So at the beginning, it's not that this person is more talented. Simply, he's older. And he was lucky enough to be born in the first months of the year. Okay? And then it says he really will be better when he's 13 or 14 with the extra coaching and practice. He really will be better than the others and far more likely, incluso más probable, to be successful. Okay, Samantha, what is successful?
Una persona exitosa. The person.
Yes, very well. Successful, exitoso. Yeah. The extra practice is vital, vital, es importante, because the second factor that Gladwell believes is of great importance in determining whether somebody is going to be successful or not is what he calls the 10,000 hours theory. Richie, what is whether or?
It's a way to make comparison, whether someone is going to do something or not.
Yeah, exactly. It's something like if he is going to be successful or not. It's a little bit like that. We want to know if this works or not, whether this works or not. It's the same thing. Okay, but usually you're talking about two things. Okay, and this theory is based on studies in many different fields, campos de estudio, right? Says that in order to get to the very top of your field, right, you need to put in 10,000 hours of practice. Okay, hay que dedicarse 10,000 horas. Whether it is playing an instrument or a sport. Siempre tenemos el whether, vamos a tener luego el or. O esto o lo otro, ¿no? Or programming a computer, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is adapted from a British newspaper. Now, we're going to answer these questions orally. Okay? We're going to work on this orally. This type of exercises we're going to do orally because otherwise you don't get an immediate answer. Okay, so Nuria, what three factors does he think being successful really depends on?
I think the first, for example, luck.
The first is luck, okay. The second factor?
Talent.
No, he says it is not talent.
Practice.
Well, he mentions practice at the end, the 10,000 hours theory, yes. But what is the other factor? Do you remember?
No, I remember so luck and practice.
Okay, don't worry. Dana, do you remember the other factor?
No. Remember.
Dana?
Can you
Sorry?
hear me?
Yes, I can
I
hear
don't
you.
remember.
Sorry, I didn't understand. What?
I don't remember.
No, you don't remember. Okay. Angel, do you remember? Anybody? Anybody remembers the factor?
Age.
Age, very well, exactly. This is the second factor. It means that, you know, you have to be older. You don't have to be more talented. You just have to be, it says it's in the beginning his advantage isn't so much that he's more talented now, simply that he's older. So this is a factor. And the other is somebody mentioned is the extra practice. And this is linked to this 10,000 hours theory. Okay. Now, Kathy, why is it an advantage for sports players to be born in the first months of the year in some countries?
Because they will probably be bigger, stronger and more coordinated than other sport players.
Very well, exactly. That is correct. That is correct. Very well. Soraya, can you explain what is the 10,000 hours theory?
It is a theory that says that in order to get to the very top, you need to put in 10,000 hours
10,000 hours of what?
of practice.
Of practice. Very well. You need to put in 10,000 hours of practice. Very well. Very well. Okay. Good. We're going to continue with something else. And we're going to, well, we're talking about luck a lot. Okay. And now we're going to listen. It says, listen to two other examples Gladwell mentions. Sorry, I'm not over here. It says, now listen to two other examples Gladwell mentions. The Beatles and Bill Gates. Okay? And you have to pay attention to this. What two main reasons does he give for their extraordinary success? One reason for the Beatles, one reason for Bill Gates. Okay? I'm going to share the audio. Let's play it.
5.6.
Apart from the hockey players, he also gives the examples of the Beatles, the most famous rock band of all time, and Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. The Beatles were really lucky to be invited to play in Hamburg in 1960. The club owner who invited them normally only invited bands from London. But on one trip to the UK, he met an entrepreneur from Liverpool who told him that there were some really good bands in that city. When the Beatles arrived in Hamburg, they had to work incredibly hard. They had to play for up to 8 hours a night in the club, 7 nights a week. As John Lennon said later, "We got better and we got more confidence. We couldn't help it with all the experience we got from playing all night long in the club." By 1964, when they became really successful, the Beatles had been to Hamburg 4 times and had already performed live an estimated 1,200 times, far more than many bands today perform in their entire careers. Bill Gates's huge stroke of good luck came in 1968, when the high school he was at decided to spend some money they'd been given on a computer. This computer was kept in a little room that then became the computer club. In 1968, most universities didn't have a computer club, let alone schools. From that time on, Gates spent most of his time in the computer room, as he and his friends taught themselves how to use it. "It was my obsession," Gates says of those early high school years. "I skipped athletics. I went up there at night. We were programming at weekends. It would be a rare week that we wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in." So Gates was unbelievably lucky to have access to a computer, but of course he also put in all those hours of practice too. Talent, Gladwell concludes, is obviously important, but there are many talented people out there. What makes just a few of them special is that they are lucky and that they put in far more hours of practice than the rest.
Okay. Do you want to listen again, or do you think you're ready to answer the questions? Okay. So we're going to listen again then.
5.6.
Apart from the hockey players, he also gives the examples of the Beatles, the most famous rock band of all time, and Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. The Beatles were really lucky to be invited to play in Hamburg in 1960. The club owner who invited them normally only invited bands from London. But on one trip to the UK, he met an entrepreneur from Liverpool who told him that there were some really good bands in that city. When the Beatles arrived in Hamburg, they had to work incredibly hard. They had to play for up to 8 hours a night in the club, 7 nights a week. As John Lennon said later, "We got better and we got more confidence. We couldn't help it with all the experience we got from playing all night long in the club." By 1964, when they became really successful, the Beatles had been to Hamburg 4 times and had already performed live an estimated 1,200 times, far more than many bands today perform in their entire careers. Bill Gates's huge stroke of good luck came in 1968, when the high school he was at decided to spend some money they'd been given on a computer. This computer was kept in a little room that then became the computer club. In 1968, most universities didn't have a computer club, let alone schools. From that time on, Gates spent most of his time in the computer room, as he and his friends taught themselves how to use it. "It was my obsession," Gates says of those early high school years. "I skipped athletics. I went up there at night. We were programming at weekends. It would be a rare week that we wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in." So Gates was unbelievably lucky to have access to a computer, but of course he also put in all those hours of practice too. Talent, Gladwell concludes, is obviously important, but there are many talented people out there. What makes just a few of them special is that they are lucky and that they put in far more hours of practice than the rest.
Okay. So, Alison, what 2 main reasons does he give to for their extraordinary success? In the case of the Beatles.
Beatles, they have invited to play in Hamburg.
Yes, very well. They were invited to play in Hamburg. Do you remember how many times they played in Hamburg?
1960, I'm not sure.
Yeah, more than 1,000 times. More than 1,000 times. They played a lot, so they had a lot of practice. Very well. Angel, what is the main reason for Bill Gates' extraordinary success?
The main reason was that I forget.
You forgot?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody else. Soraya, what is the main reason for Bill Gates' extraordinary success?
Bill Gates took a stroke of good luck came in no. Repeat the question.
Yeah, what is the main reason? Why was he successful? Why was Bill Gates
He
successful?
could practice in computer.
He had a computer. He had access to a computer. Where? Where was the computer?
In computer club.
In a computer club at school.
At the school.
At school, yeah. And this was in 1968, they mentioned. Okay. Was it very difficult or did you get it? No? No answers. You have to give me some feedback. I need to know. Tell me, I'm asking you. Did you find it very difficult or not? Nobody answers.
Maybe the second time we heard the audio, it's more like easy, but the first time it's harder to understand.
Did you understand better the second time?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Augusta?
What's the part hard for me was like find the reply for the question, because I was thinking, just if you ask me, I would just say like more practice, and it was like, where is the second? Because I was like that's
Yeah, well, but that was the reason. Yeah, at the end, they do a reflection that they were talented, but the main reason for the success was the practice that they put in, right? Like, because this is about this 10,000 hours theory, 10,000 hours theory that you have to put in order to become really, really good at something. This is a book by this guy, Gladwell, of course. It's a theory, okay? Okay, give me a second. Let me see. Okay, we're going to continue. And we're going to focus on the vocabulary. So we were working with the word luck, okay? It says, look at this. So one of these is luck, for example, being lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time, okay? So luck and lucky, they're very similar. What is the difference between luck and lucky, Augusta?
I don't get it, like in the difference, like luck and lucky.
Yes, what is luck and what is lucky?
Luck could be just like how you say the difference, not in English, the word, I don't know, lucky, it's like you use for a person. I don't know how to say that in English.
Okay, so luck is a noun and lucky is an adjective. Okay.
Yeah, that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
know how to say that.
luck means suerte. And lucky will be afortunado, suertudo, for example, right? That will be the word lucky. Let's do this. Just a minute. Yeah, it's open. Wow, I thought it was closed. So we go in and we do this together. Okay? It says, look at the bold words in the sentence. Which is a noun or which is an adjective? Now you know. Okay? It's a negative adjective, a positive verb, and a negative adverb. Okay? So luck is a noun, you know. Unlucky is an adverb. Okay? You have to create a negative adjective from the word lucky, a positive adverb from the adverb that you make from lucky, and a negative adverb from the adverb that you make from the adverb from the word lucky. Do you remember how to make adverbs from adjectives? Yes, right? You have to add the word "ly" at the end. The suffix "ly," L-Y. Do you know or you're not sure? Because we can do this together if you're not sure. But I need you to answer. I need to hear your words. Otherwise, I don't know. Do you understand what you have to do or not? Yes? Okay. If you don't say anything, I assume you understand what you have to do. You have to say something, otherwise I don't understand. If you don't understand, tell me, okay? Okay, let's work. You have 5 minutes to do this. Okay, we're going to correct. So, Samantha, a negative adjective.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. Soraya, a positive adverb.
Luckily.
Sorry?
Locally.
Can you spell it? Can you spell it?
U, no, sorry, L
L,
U L U C K I L and L
right?
U.
No, eso no es U, eso es Y. La Y se dice Y,
Y. Y.
right? Luckily, luckily, luckily. Augusta, a negative adverb.
Unluckily.
Can you spell it?
UNLUCKILY.
Why? Unluckily. Very well. That's correct. Okay. It was a very simple exercise. Just to start to warm up. Okay. To warm up. And now we're going to focus on the rest of the vocabulary. We're going to complete the chart here. Okay. We are here, vocabulary bank 2A, complete the chart. Okay. Look how it works. You have a few words, lucky, unlucky, luckily, unluckily, and you have to do the same thing for the rest of the words. Fortune, comfort, patience, care. Okay? Fortunes, for example, positive, fortunate. Unfortunate will be the negative. You have to write the adverbs. The same thing for the rest. Okay? It's 14 points. So please pay attention. Okay? Okay, let's go. Let's start now. You have 8 minutes. Who left? Somebody left. I don't know who left. I have to do this again. Okay. Yeah, because the person who leaves is absent. Come on. So the people who are still working, finish up. Okay, we're going to check. Time's up. Samantha. Adverbs for fortunate and unfortunate. Samantha.
Vale. Okay, adverbs, fortunately,
Fortunately.
fortunately, y unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Remember, UN sounds un. Okay, unfortunately. Very well. Thank you, Samantha. Augusta. The easiest. The adjectives for the word comfort.
Comfortable, uncomfortable, comfortably, comfortably,
Wait. Only the adjectives. Only the adjectives.
comfortable. Yeah, right.
Okay, super important. Please pay attention. The pronunciation is comfortable. Comfortable. Not comfortable. Now. And letter O and letter R are completely silent. You don't say comfortable, no. You say comfortable. 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 Okay, and the adjective which is negative is uncomfortable. Okay, so how do you feel today, Augusta? Comfortable or uncomfortable?
Comfortable.
Comfortable. Comfortable. Okay, very well. Madeline, the adverbs, the easiest one. The adverbs from the words comfortable and uncomfortable.
The adverb is comfortably. Is comfortably.
Comfortably, very well, and
Uncomfortably.
uncomfortably. Excellent. Good pronunciation. Very good, Madeline. Okay. Soraya, patience.
Patient,
Patient.
impatient,
Impatient. Very well. Excellent. Angel, the adverbs for patience.
Patiently, impatiently.
Impatiently. Excellent. Nuria, care. Positive adjective and negative adjective. This is not easy.
Careful.
Very well. Careful. And?
Careless.
Careless. Excellent. Very well, Nuria. And the adverbs, Irene.
Carefully,
Carefully and
carelessly, carelessly.
Carelessly. Very well. Excellent. Very good job, guys. Very good job. Okay, these are the words. We go back and we do the last vocabulary exercise, the one that is after that. This one, vocabulary bank 2C, complete the sentences with the correct form of the noun. Okay, and now you have to work. Okay. Let's go. You have 10 minutes to do this. You have to complete it. And it has to be the correct form of the noun. So for example, you have the word fortune. It could be fortunate, unfortunate, fortunately, unfortunately. So it depends. But they are always the same words. fortune, comfort, care, luck, patience, you know, care, luck, patience, fortune, comfort. Okay, this is a mistake. It should be with an M. It's comfortable, comfort. Okay, you have to use the correct form of the noun. Remember, here it could be fortune, unfortunate, fortunate, fortunately, unfortunately. It could be either the adjective or the adverb. Okay, guys? Let's work. If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, are you ready? Let's check. Good. Let me share. Okay. Augusta, can you read the first one?
Yes, the beach was beautiful, but unfortunately, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's raining almost every day. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately, it rains almost every day. Madeline.
My new shoes are very comfortable. I wore them for the first time yesterday and they didn't hurt at all.
Perfect. Comfortable. Excellent pronunciation. Samantha, number 3.
He did the exam quickly, and correctly, and so he made lots of mistakes.
Carelessly. 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 Okay. Allison, number 4.
We were really unlucky. We missed the flight by just 5 minutes.
Unlucky. Good. Sheila, are you there? I can't see you. Sheila.
Yes.
Okay. Can you move the camera so I can see your face, please? Thank you very much. Number 5.
Okay. Jazz is a very impression drawing
Driver.
driver. We can say being behind
Behind.
I am
Behind.
I am someone who is driving slowly.
Yeah, this is a mistake from the book. It's slowly. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense, right? Jack is a very impatient driver. He can't stand being behind someone who is driving slowly. What is the meaning of this expression? He can't stand, Sheila. What do you think? Sheila, I asked you a question. Can you answer?
No estar de pie, o sea, no estar parado.
No. Can't stand being behind is no poder soportar. He can't stand being behind someone who is driving slowly. No soporta estar detrás de alguien que maneja lento. That is what it means. Can't stand. Okay? Be careful. Okay? Number 6. Soraya. Number 6.
Okay, it was a bad accident, but luckily,
Sorry? Lucky, like this?
no.
No. So,
Lucky.
can you spell it for me, please?
Lucky.
Perfect. Luckily.
Luckily.
Luckily. Luckily. Luckily.
Luckily.
Okay, so can you read it again? Number 6. It was
a bad accident, but luckily nobody was seriously hurt.
very well, Soraya. Thank you very much. Richie, number 7.
It was raining, but fans waiting patiently in the queue to buy tickets for tomorrow's concert.
Patiently in the queue. In the queue. What is the
Yes,
queue?
I suppose it's some sort of cabin, a place where they buy the tickets.
No, queue is just a line. Es una fila, una cola para comprar los tickets. Okay, this is the queue. This is a very British word. And you pronounce only queue. Okay. María Gracia. Number 8.
Yes, the road will be very ice tonic, so drive carefully.
How do you pronounce this word?
Yes,
How do you pronounce that word?
the road will be very ice tonic, so drive carefully.
No, 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 just this word, just this word. Solo esta palabra quiero que pronuncies.
Tonic.
No, ¿qué significa esta palabra? No, no aparece el micrófono.
Ah, okay. Okay. Esta noche.
Sorry?
Esta noche.
Yes, la vamos a pronunciar como la palabra noche, night, y le agregamos el to antes. ¿Sí? No es distinto. Tonight.
Tonight.
¿Sí? Pero acordémonos que night se pronunciaba N-I-G-H-T, night. Acá tenemos tonight. ¿Ok? Ahora, esta palabrita que está antes, ¿cómo se pronuncia? María Gracia, no apagues el micrófono, estamos todavía conversando.
Sorry. Ice.
Ice, si terminan en E.
Icy.
Icy, muy bien. Sí, hay que pronunciar todo lo que tenemos enfrente, ¿no? Icy. It was very icy tonight. ¿Qué significa icy? ¿Qué puede significar? Obviamente tiene que ver con ice, pero ¿qué significaría?
Helado.
Yes, full of ice, basically. Okay, full of ice. The roads will be very icy tonight, so drive carefully. This is something that will never happen in Guayaquil City, but in other countries, sometimes you have ice on the road, and this is a problem. Maria Fernanda Luque, number 9.
Number 9, the temperature dropped to minus 10 degrees, but fortunately, we were all wearing warm coats and jackets.
Excellent, fortunately. And number 10, Dana.
The bed in the hotel was incredibly uncomfortable. I hardly slept at all.
I hardly slept at all. Very well. What is the meaning of hardly? Dana.
Como duro.
No. Remember that hard significa duro. Y el adverbio de hard es hard. La palabra hardly no es el adverbio de hard.
Difícil. Como
Significa apenas. Apenas. I hardly slept. Apenas dormí. Okay? I hardly slept at all. Apenas dormí un poco. Okay? Understand? So be careful. Hardly is not the same as hard as an adverb because hard is an irregular adverb and the adverb of hard is the same word hard. Okay? Okay, we're going to finish this. Let's see how it went. Okay, everything was fine. Okay, you can listen to this if you want later. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to continue. We had an interesting game to play at the end. This is the sentence game. but we don't have time. We're going to have to finish now because this takes a few minutes and we don't have enough time to play that game. But this is the first thing we're going to do in the next class, to play this game. Now, remember you have a homework, a project for next class, okay? I'm going to send, in a minute, I'm going to send the screen captures of what we saw at the beginning of the class so you can do it well, okay? Any questions about that? No? Okay, good. Okay, so see you next time. Yeah?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
See you.
Bye, teacher.